Good
Nice,
morning.
nice. Today we'll be talking about who am I and what are my inborn abilities. Yeah, the topic is very hot because when you think about where to go to to study, it's a big question. Yeah, because two-thirds of your life we are spending like working somewhere or like creating as a business, and that's why it's very important to understand what kind of abilities you have and do you really what you really need just to explore them and just to unlock them. And that's why our broadcast will be like directed towards this direction. Yes, Svetlana, what about like Syucai personal profile? What we can say about it?
First of all, for those who hear it first time, Syucai is the science of knowing from the distance, knowing yourself from the distance, knowing your future from the distance, and it's not um, creating a fantasy about it. Dreams are great and very useful. This is about understanding your nature. For example, we all live in a natural environment, right? I'm in Florida. It's very, very warm, but I used to live in Illinois and it's extremely cold. So if I go against the nature and I wear a swimsuit and go outside in Illinois, I would be extremely frozen and extremely uncomfortable. But here in Florida, wearing a jacket would not be appropriate. And so in life, we do it all the time. We go against our nature because we don't know what season we're living in. And we also don't know what our nature is about. What kind of biology and geography is happening within our body affects all our decisions. And the most important decision is what am I going to do for 8 hours of my life to the end of my life? So this information is extremely useful for parents whose children are looking for different after-school activities to support their strong suit. Also for parents who have children going out of the high school into the college, for example. Also for people who already got out of the college into their first work, but they don't know why they're doing it. Is it for money or there is something more interesting to life besides the money? Or in addition to money. And for
Yes,
the,
yes.
the businessmen that already have their own business or people who work as a freelance or work as an employee, what is mine to do and create and what is not mine. And therefore, I should not push myself into it.
Yeah, 100%. And talking about this, we really need to understand our strengths and weaknesses, let's say like this. And of course, there's a lot of like tools where you can check like your strengths or abilities. But if we're talking about your date of birth, we really can show your inborn, yes, abilities that you can like develop much faster. And when we're talking about the nature of human being, yeah, we're talking about like three aspects. The first one, this is the day of your birth and this is the number, your conscious number. Second one, this is your portfolio. This is all your numbers that you have in your date of birth, and full, like the complex is nine energies. But none of us has this kind of nine energies. And that's why when we're working with the kids, with parents, with business leaders, like from any field, we're really talking about this kind of nine energies that we have to develop. And the third part of our human being, this is like number of mission. And it really starts like affects us at the age of 33. But today we're talking about the young generation, and that's why let's just start talking with number of consciousness. Yeah. For those who was born on the 1st, on the 10th, 19th, or 28th, these kind of people, they have strategic thinking because we have a nine different thinkings, and this is your strength and pay attention very closely because for you it's going to be something revolutionary because this type of thinking you don't need to work on, you just have in your nature. And when we're talking about strategic thinking, this group of people, they can see from every question, when they got any questions, they can see the strategy how to go from point A to point B. And of course, working with the real business people, it's so evident. You can see exactly what's the difference between the leaders. Yes, Svetlana?
Absolutely. What's interesting for this time and age, because we're talking about young people, is that in last century, everyone had number one, even if they were not born on one. We all have one in our birth matrix. So some level of understanding what's right for me, what is mine, what is my direction, is present. It could be less or more, but we have it. But then the next generation born in 2000 on, some of them don't have even one number one in their matrix.
Number one, yeah.
These are the people, and Vasili will talk about who are the people born on a second, or the summary comes to second. But these are the people that do not know what it means to be one, what it means to be the leader, what it means to make a decision for yourself, what it means to take responsibility. These are the people that are very, very slow in their decision making because the one is gone. And so this competency is hard to find. And what I always suggest to these people is find the one in your surrounding. Get mentored, get a friendship going on, get a marriage going on. Have somebody in your life that will support you. Why? Because this nature, this is your nature. One is your nature. If you don't have it, you don't have the hurricane in your nature. You cannot move ahead in the same way as one would do. And so for many of you, one might not be very evident because you don't know how to feel it. And therefore, we recommend to understand even deeper that to unlock this competency, you need to start looking what is right for me. How do I feel in this moment that makes me feel off? And find, turn your ship towards what is right for me. Because egoism is not a dirty word. It just means that your personality knows exactly what you want. And you know how people say, do it for me, it's okay, do it for yourself, you're selfish. Be selfish. Find the one, find this informational flow that makes you a human being, because we are responsible.
Yes, and main point message that I really want to send that guys, if you have an idea and really want to bring it on the market, you really need to pay attention to this kind of type of thinking, because we have like 9 groups, and to create the better vision how to bring your product or your service or your idea on the market, you really need to work with this all 9 type of thinking. And the next one is for those who was born on the 2nd, 11th, 20th, or 29th. This is empathic thinking. People that really want to feel it another person. They can feel with whole body, yeah? Because these kind of people, the strength is to understand other people, to connect other people. This is people from diplomacy level. And that's why this is the strength for them. Svetlana?
And you need absolutely allow yourself the time. Do not hurry yourself up. If you have these people in your team, working team or at home, do not hurry them up. They need to feel it. It takes time, sometimes up to 3 days for them to make any decisions. And if you want them to be happy and stress less, make decisions for them and then explain how this decision will affect them. If you do not know how to make decision, sit down, write it down. Write down everything that you feel and then read it a day later, and you will understand how to make decision better.
Yeah, the third group, for those who were born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, 30th, this is group with analytical thinking. 24 hours like analysis. And this group of people, they can see the profit from any direction, from any movement, from any ideas. And of course, this type of people, they really need for you if you really want to create the best idea or best product on the market, because they can see how to build the system, because they really can and they really like to work in the systems.
And you need to know that these people are extremely caring, but that care goes into controlling every aspect of the material world. So with this kind of personality, you will always find the money, and you will always care for people with the money and people who will create the opportunity for you. But once that is gone, the care becomes a vicious, a bit of a vicious approach to where is my money and where are my next steps to create more money. So for these people, and I have one of my businessmen is like that. When he was falling apart in a crisis, he was coming to the sessions regularly. What should I do? How should I do it? Where should I do it? And then he said, oh my God, and my money go to the session. And I said, that's fine. You can take your money, put it somewhere else. And he did. And then he came back and he said, oh my God, that was a wrong decision. Why? Because number 3 can analyze really well. I'm 7, I'm a crisis manager, and I'm also mission 9, which is the idea generator and action. Even my website is called Energy for Action. And so once he left me mid-crisis, he understood that his analysis are driving him nuts because it doesn't go into the action.
Yeah.
And so if you have that tendency, remember that you need to create a plan and act. And better yet, create an instruction. 3 people who are born with this number are very good in making the system work through instructions. So if you are a business person or you are an employee, or even if you're a freelancer, don't forget to write instruction for yourself first and then share it with the world, because you're a great mentor for everybody. Don't forget to teach others to follow instructions and your business will flourish.
Yes, yes. Very self-sufficient number. This self-sufficient people, yeah. The 4th group, for those who were born on the 4th, 13th, 22nd, or 31st, we're talking about innovative, creative thinking. They really want to improve everything. And for them, this is a device. They can work like at any field, but only through creativity, because they can really to improve everywhere. And what does mean the business? The business means you find something that you can improve and you can like share with other people and get money from this. And that's why these people, they can think out of the box. If number 3, they think in between the rules and instructions, number 4, this out of the box. Unusual people, unusual thinking.
And that is why it is so important for these people never be in a system. Even if they're in a system, they have to have an opportunity within the system to create something different, because they're very rebellious. And if you push them into the box, they will destroy the system. So yeah, it's a true revolutionary. And the other part of them, they can create gazillions of goals for themselves, being busy without completing any one of them. And therefore, if you are that kind of person, again, I have a businessman who is in a partnership with another person. And so their clash was, this person wants to do videos, this person wants to do the advertisements through the social media. And the one who wants to do the movies was destroying the business, because he was always going after the scenarios and putting lots of money into it. And so when the other one understood that his job is to create the goal for the business and not wait for the other person who only has one goal, not for the business, for his own personality. When he understood what the priority is, because any business priority is making money first. Yeah. Business is not just for pleasure. If you want to have a pleasure, that's no problem. You don't have to take upon your shoulder responsibility for other people. But if you're a businessman, you need to know that your first priority is to make money, to support the people that work for you. And with that, everybody supports the mission of the business. And so if your soul is not happy with what's going on in the business, do another business. Do not destroy the business that's there. So that saves their business, actually. And if you have 4, make sure that you write all your goals, and then with your body, with your mind, with your whole understanding, with all your analysis, choose the one that connects to you in a way that you really want to relentlessly improve it. And then your business will flourish. Do not go poof, like the 4 like to do, and come back with gazillions of unfinished projects.
Yeah, very interesting group. And for those who was born on the 5th, 14th or 23rd, this is group 5, yeah? And these people, they have logical thinking. Everything should be logic. And their strength is they can bring the product or any purchase from point A to point B with the shortest way. And that's why this the ability to scale up any ideas, this is the best strength. And of course, this type of people in the team, very important, because this is like the way how we can communicate, because they are great communicators and great sellers. And this is your strength, guys. And of course, if you really want to hire someone like to sell any products or services for you, number 5 would be the best one.
And they're also very fast. They can see what's useful. Their technical intellect allows them to use technical tools to get to what they want. But what's important about this number, that we live in Aquarius age. This is the age of talking. And so a lot of young generation are making a lot of money by talking. Sale, of course, but also all kinds of blogs, video blogs, podcasts, and everything else. And what's important for number 5 is the status. They want to be on top of the world. So again, I have a businessman. He's now in a different country, even he's an American, but he's now in a different country because the drive for status, the drive for how I look and how I am presented to the world. He is a great businessman in the financial world, but because number 5 is driving him toward the status, he puts all his money into the image and how he looks. And therefore, his talks are very often are empty, which brings zero material result, at which point he needs to change the country because it's cheaper out there than in here. So the importance for the 5 is to really have something useful that you could stand behind and bring it through the logic of your thinking to people. But also remember that what's right for you might not be right for others. What's logical for you might not be logical for others. We all have our own logic. And so learning to communicate with the goal-oriented product or service that you can stand behind will give your talk the weight that you need, because 5 is like this, like a Mercury. It flies away and it gets upset when people don't listen, and people don't listen to empty conversations.
Yes, and they really like freedom more than other stuff. Freedom is very important. And the group number 6, for those who was born on 6th, 15th, or 24th, the type of thinking is creative thinking. They really can create something from the scratch, and this is like their strength. They can have idea and create something from zero. Of course, we can create also like other numbers, but the way they can do it, this is going to be like the best one, the best approach, because this is people of luxury stuff. They really want to make it in a high end level and to share with other people, and of course to attract the interest.
And these are the people that you can meet in beauty industry. You can meet them in hospitality industry because they know how to make things comfortable, beautiful, nice. I've every time I see a 6, there's always a smile. They lure you into relationship. They make you feel that you are so necessary that they cannot live without you, and they will find a way to hook you and use you and hook you and use you as many times as they wish. And as you're talking to them, you feel it, but you cannot stop it. And so if you are like this, notice that, because that is natural. It's totally natural, but don't do it excessively. And most importantly, when you are creating beauty and luxury and comfort, remember that nobody is going to give it to you. You're the one who's giving it to the world. And so every time you create something amazing for other people, that's where you build relationship. That's when you understand the people. And you can be a great psychologist. You can understand people deeply, which helps you in business to create a team, to resolve issues in a team. And if the team is working in comfortable, beautiful environment, the business grows.
And 100%. And this group, they have this intuition for money, yeah, because they have this kind of ideas. All right, next group is number 7th. For those who was born on the 7th, 16th, or 25th, the type of thinking is intuitive thinking. Yeah, they're very, very connected to intuition. And Svetlana and I, we were born on this group. And of course, this type of group can realize your ideas very, very fast because they really want the fast realization. And if you have this kind of opportunity to be closer to these people, you can really feel this kind of energy, the energy of charisma and the energy of realization.
And truthfully, you have an opportunity to be closer to these people because both of us are these people. I call myself crisis manager in personal and business life. Why? Because intuition is my nature, just like with Vasili. We see, we sense through the body, through the mind, through the conversation with people, we sense the patterns of energy and information that lead to certain material results before you can see this material result. It's very, very important. We live in many different realities. One of our realities is subjective, when we think within ourselves. But then there's objective reality in which we communicate with others. And very often our thinking blocks the information from the environment. What happens with the 7, they're very, very open to this information, and they're able to perceive information before you can see it manifested. Therefore, it's not that we manifest something fast. We just know when it's ready and when it needs one little push to be there, because other people work themselves out, pushing through their weak stuff. And we are seeing the strong patterns in everybody's personality, and we can direct you in a way that prevents bad things from happening, which for me is one of the major things. I had a businessman who came to me with the idea of a big ship with all kinds of special services, which I'm not going to disclose, but he did it with 5 partners. And when I start asking him about the partners, just the way he talks, and I've never met this person because, well, I always work on the phone without even Zoom. He started talking, and the fluctuation in his voice was enough for me to see what every person is about. And he talked maybe 2, 3 sentences about each one of them. And I said, this person will do this, this person will do this, and this is the only person who will give you money. And he said, how do you know? Like, I'm reading the information that comes to me through 7. I'm just there for you.
Just on the screen here.
Yeah, but he didn't believe. And I said, okay, if you don't believe, do not sign anything. But get $5,000 investment. It's very little for this type of people that you're describing, but they're not that kind of people. But you don't trust me. So take $5,000 from 5 people. You have $25,000. It's very minimal, but you will see the commitment. And 2 weeks later, he said, oh my God, only one person. Like, and you know who? And you know, and so that business got destroyed, but it saved millions, because even to buy a ship, it's a big, huge ship for a launch, even to buy that, this person was ready to put his money out of the pocket. So
yes,
trust the 7.
Yeah, and the strength of the 7, they can transform you guys just only with words. This is the power of words and the energy, and you can transform yourself very easier and faster with number 7. Next group is number 8. For those who was born on 17th or 26th, this kind of people, they have a practical thinking. They really want and really like to work. And when they work, they got this kind of experience. That's why they're really practical, and they really want to control everything. And that's why if you really want to invite someone to control your material world in your business, number 8, this is the best choice.
And again, I have an example. She's actually a coach, and with her 8, we had a conversation, and I gave her a very clear understanding where the money is. She has another small business. So instead of going for a bigger business that needs an innovation, because it's with my ideas, there is always an innovation since I'm 7, she got stuck keeping the control over the small business, without moving to the bigger idea, which would be not known. And 8 is learning from practical application. And so if you're 8 or you have people in your team who are 8, you need to give them little by little things that they can do so they can build their practicality. Because again, one of my business people was 8, who is very practical, and he knew how to deal with this amount of equipment. But when it got to double the amount of equipment, the business started falling down because the competency was not grown through the practicality.
Yes.
He knew theoretically, but not practically. So
Not
8
practical.
can control the material result only through the practical level, but also with the understanding that it's not about hard work. It's about hard understanding, hard following through the process and building the process that works.
Yes, and the last group is number 9, for those who was born on 9th, 18th, or 27th, the group that has the kind of tactical thinking, very good in tactic. And if there is any ideas, they can build the tactic and how to get this. My son, he was born on 18th, and I really can feel and see how like they perform, because these people of actions, of course, they're like high emotional group and really want to act before to analyze, but on a way of tactic, this is the best of the best. And of course, they're like team players. If they see your idea, or if they have the idea, they can like with the team just to go as far as possible and just to reach this goal. Very competitive group.
That's right. And I have a 9 in my mission. So I'm very familiar with this energy because, this informational flow that makes you always stick your nose in other people's businesses. Because 9 is the one that always understand 10% of every person is a 9. It's if you are a grown up, right? You live through the first life of your year of your life, you know how to walk, then you know how to ask for what you want, then you understand where you are, then you start having goals, and so on. You reach year 9. It's a completion of a 9-year cycle, and so that completion applies here as well. You have all the competencies because you grow, and every 9 years you go through this process, and you can understand that through the calendar, which I will put in your comments. So if you need the calendar, you can look into it. But every time when you grow through the process, you acquire the understanding, and then from that understanding, the ideas are coming in. But you always want something from other people, because 9 does not do anything for nothing. It wants always a mutually beneficial exchange. And so we always look like we have our heart out, which is true. We're very emotional. We get into connection very easily. But then when we do things and get nothing from it, we get really upset. Like, how come? I've done all of it and nothing came back. And it's not even on a material plane. That you need to understand. Yeah. Every person from 1 to 9, we all need recognition. We all need understanding what our service for humanity is. But we have those recognition in a different way. So 9 wants to be recognized for this usefulness, for something was done not in vain. And so if you can give it to 9, even if you don't give it the money, 9 will be absolutely happy, because 9 is the person who is a protector. He is a promoter. And if you are in good connection with 9, all your products will be promoted. By the way, Vasili has a great, very amazing workbook for the children, and it could be applied to adults, I'm sure, about how to grow your personality using the competency of 9, which is sport, being active and sports. So that's my infomercial. If you want to say more about it, go ahead. But it applies to 9. That's why I wanted to share.
Yeah. Of course, we'll be covering this kind of like products later in our broadcasting. But thank you, Svetlana, and I can feel this energy of promoting, and that's why, guys, this is the strength of Svetlana. And she doesn't need to go to study any places, not universities, nothing. It's natural.
It's there.
That's why, yeah, we just covered like talking about 9 different type of thinking, 9 groups, and we were talking about strength. And of course, there are some weaknesses. And if you really want to know better your weaknesses, because there's like point of growth, of course, we can like talk about it later in our broadcasting, or you can ask us questions and ask us privately. Yeah, and of course, we can go on a session routine, or maybe even some any kind of programs, because we developed very interesting program for those who really want to go to study professionally, or maybe you really want to grow your business, and we'll be happy to support you and just become the result of your success.
Absolutely. The most important thing in our life is time. And the value, we think the value is in people or in money or in real estate, but the value is in life. If you are not alive, even if you're physically alive, but emotionally and spiritually you're dead because your work does not fulfill you, your relationships are not working, then what's the point of making the money or creating the businesses? So our program is oriented toward helping you understand yourself as a path, as a all roads lead to Rome. All the competencies lead to fulfillment. When your soul is not fulfilled, soul is the combination of your personality and your stardom, because everyone comes into the material form from somewhere. And we, the sevens, know where you come from. You come from universal energy and information that is creating a unique package that has a name. And your name also has a 1 to 9 competency, right? It adds to the driving force of your life. And therefore, we would like to share it with you in the series of broadcasts and programs that you can make decisions that are right for you in the right time and according to your strong suit, and then develop weaker parts of your personality, or hire people that can sustain you through collaboration and relationship to feel the life that you meant to live. You have a different life than I am or Vasili. We all have our specific, very specific path, and you need to be on that path, not on my path or anybody else's path.
Yes, yes. And the great news is we have great tools how to communicate with other people knowing their date of birth. And guys, it was pleasure to spend very incredible 40 minutes with you, and we'll be looking forward next week. Join us on first broadcasting at the beginning of the week and second at the end of the week. At the beginning, we're talking about kids and their development, and at the end, we're talking about business. Very hot topics. And I wish you a great weekend. Yes?
Yeah, and life is your business, just like the business is your life. And therefore, we are creating business leaders from the beginning in a family, and we're creating family within the business so you can feel happy and sustainable in all areas in your life.
Ciao, ciao.